in this video, we're going to be going over how to multiply and divide fractions. The difference between multiplying and dividing fractions, besides the fact that you're multiplying instead of adding or whatever, is that you don't need to find a common denominator if the two denominators are different. You simply just multiply and divide. So before we start, we should know that the product is the answer to a multiplication problem. The reciprocal of a fraction is switching the numerator and the denominator. The quotient is the answer to a division problem. The numerator is the top of the fraction, and the denominator is the bottom of the fraction. So we're going to start with multiplying fractions. The first thing you do is you set it up. Then you multiply the numerators, then you multiply the denominators, and then you simplify if you need to. So first we're going to multiply 1/5 times 2/5. So you start by multiplying the numerators. 1 times 2 is 2. And then you multiply the denominators, which is 5 times 5, 25. And the answer to 1/5 times 2/5 is 2/25. So now we're going to talk a little bit about division. The only difference between multiplication and division is when you're dividing a fraction, you multiply the first fraction by the reciprocal of the second fraction. So if I have the fraction 2/5, the reciprocal fraction of 2/5 would be 5/2, which is also an improper fraction. That would be the reciprocal. So the denominator goes to the top and the numerator goes to the bottom. So in here, we are going to divide 1/5 by 1/5. So we end up with 1/5 times the reciprocal of 1/5, which is switching the numerator and the denominator to 5/1. We're going to multiply the numerators to 5, the denominators to 5, and now since we have 5/5, we simplify. Since they're the same number, they cancel out and become 1 because you have 5 pieces out of the 5 pieces, so you have the whole. So just to recap, we have the product, which is an answer to a multiplication problem, the reciprocal, which is switching the numerator and the denominator in a fraction, the quotient, which is the answer to a division problem, the numerator is the top of the fraction, and the denominator is the bottom. And that is how you multiply and divide fractions.